The Los Angeles Chargers had an amazing Monday Night Football victory, and now they get to host the Denver Broncos, who had a tough and devastating loss in Week 2, going to 101 on the season. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we are going to be breaking down the Denver Broncos Los Angeles Chargers Week 3 matchup and provide our predictions at the very end of the video. So be sure to leave a comment, let us know who you think is going to win, and hit that subscribe button to get notified when new videos come out. Ryan, Chargers had a dominant victory here in Week 2 on Monday Night Football. It started off 10 p.m. Eastern Monday Night Football. I love the doubleheader Monday Night Football games, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Living on the East Coast, a little rough, I will say. Just NFL. In case you're curious, in case you ever want to know my thoughts. But that being said, though, very dominant performance. Didn't come out. It did give them a big loss, though, that we'll get to here in a second. But Denver should have beaten the Colts. A rare leverage call is what cost them a game. There's a lot of things that cost them the game in general, though. But I think the Denver Broncos team was a good big step forward overall for their offense. A little concerned about the defense as a whole, but maybe it's also the Colts offense is playing better. I think it's going to be a unique matchup for this Broncos defense. But Ryan, I want to throw it over to you here. What do you think of both of these teams at this point in the season and what they've done the offseason so far? What are some of the key X factors that you think both teams need to tackle on to become out victorious?
Yeah, well, starting off with the Chargers, I've been pretty impressed with what they've done so far this year. They came in, they had a good defensive showing against the Chiefs. If it was not for some Patrick Mahomes heroics, that game would have been a blowout. And then you go look at what they did against the Raiders here in Week 2, and they really shut down this offense that has a pretty good group of playmakers. You look Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, Deontay Thornton seem to be having a really good training camp and made some plays in Week 1 against my Patriots. So they did a good job, I think, just being assignment sound, not beating themselves. And I think that going into this matchup, they're going to have to continue to do that. This is another this they haven't played great so far, but this Denver Broncos has another good set of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Bo Nix looked a little bit better in the Week 2 matchup against the Colts than he did against the Titans in Week 1. So continue to expect that progression as this season furthers on there for Bo Nix. But yeah, I've been pretty impressed here with the Chargers so far. And kind of going over to the Broncos, I wish I could say the same. But I felt like they did everything they could to lose the Week 1 game. They were just playing a Tennessee Titans team that had a quarterback in his first start. They had 4 turnovers in that game, and just a really sloppy performance overall. And then
Yeah,
I believe they missed a field goal right at the end of the Colts game, and then the Colts go down. They get in position to take a long shot at the field goal, and then they beat themselves again with the
yeah,
leverage penalty, give the Colts 15 extra yards and an extra shot at the game-winning field goal, and they ended up losing there. They still had some turnovers in that game as well. I believe Bo Nix threw another interception. So want to see that all cleaned up. But this defense still, I think, is going to end up being one of the top units when it's all said and done at the end of the year. There's still a lot of talent there. But yeah, a rougher start for the Broncos than you would like to see, but they still have the talent and the coaching to clean up some of the issues that they've been having coming into this matchup and make this a really close game.
yeah. No, I think that's the thing too, as well. As like the Broncos are technically 1-1, but you go look at it like it was self-inflicted wounds. This, which is what gave up the victory against the Indianapolis Colts. I think one of the things they did give up a lot of yards, a lot of short field goals that allowed the Colts in the early part of the game to keep on putting points up on the board. But that being said, though, too, that means good red zone defense, and I think that's going to be the thing that's interesting here is just how is Justin Herbert and this Chargers offense with a deep connection to Quentin Johnson, improve running game now that you have Omar and Hampton as well. You bring back Keenan Allen. Lad McConkey is just your guy that you can lean on, that possession receiver. It's going to be a very interesting matchup here. And both these teams know each other extremely well since they play each other 2 times a year. I think it's going to be a very tight matchup. And now I'm curious now too how as well. Now that Denzel Perryman he's on IR, Khalil Mack I'm assuming is also going to be on IR as well if he's not on IR as of the recording of this video. He ended up hurting his elbow and he was seen on the sideline the second half with a big sling and big wrapping around his left arm as well. So curious just how long he's going to be out. Is it season-ending injury? And how big of a toll that's going to take on the defense. Did not seem to take that major of a toll on the defense as they only held the Raiders to 9 points, or they held the Raiders to only 9 points. And so I still think that this Chargers defense, and with Jim Harbaugh's mindset now, second year into his philosophy overall, I think it's going to keep on improving. And this is going to be a very unique matchup. I think both of these teams are very similar. Don't really have great world beater skill position players as a whole, but they have good offensive systems that they're running in. Justin Herbert, I think, is a superior quarterback. But that being said, though, I think offensive mind with Sean Payton helps equalize that in his offensive system. I think this is going to be a phenomenal matchup here. I think what it's going to come down to, and why I'm going to be picking the Chargers here, it's definitely not because of home field advantage. Chargers have one of the worst home field advantages in the entire league. I just think at the end of the day, I think the Chargers have just been playing a little bit better football as a whole over these first couple of weeks. And the Broncos, I think, are still just figuring things out just a little bit. Now, if this is week 15, I feel fully confident now that Sean Payton's going to have this Broncos offense clicking. This defense is going to be picking up, and it's going to be top notch, and they're really going to be shutting down offenses, and that might be a little bit different. But at this point, though, really seeing Justin Herbert kind of almost get it very early to say, but kind of almost looking like that MVP form, really controlling the offense as a whole. Running game seems to be doing well, even with the Chargers offensive line dealing with a little bit of injuries as a whole. While on the flip side, though, too, the Broncos running back room, with J.K. Dobbins, you have Audric Estime, and you're going to have RJ Harvey as well. I think doing well, but not doesn't seem like as fully dominant, more that running back by committee versus what Amari Hampton, and I think especially even too, there's still room for him to grow as well. So I'm going to go with the Chargers here. I think it's going to be a really good matchup. Definitely, obviously, I know these guys play the second time later on this year. However, I do also believe that it's very possible we could see these teams meeting again in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm also going to take the Chargers here. Just through 2 weeks, they are ninth in total offensive yards, and then they're fourth in offensive passing yards. And to me, I just think that shows the connection that Justin Herbert has built with these wide receivers. And even if Pat Surtain can take out Ladd McConkey or Quentin Johnston, you still have Keenan Allen, Will Dissly. They can run the ball on you as well. And so I think that it's just going to be it's going to be a good division game, but when push comes to shove, I'm going to take the better quarterback here in Justin Herbert to either close out the game on similar to what he did against the Chiefs, or if they need to go down and get one more score, I think Justin Herbert can execute in that drive as well. So we're both taking the Chargers here. Let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Will it be the Denver Broncos? Will it be the Los Angeles Chargers? And that we'll see you guys next time.